Rampage.
Hey guys, this is Wisper coming at you again with another IO commentary video. This one is really interesting. This is something that I have not seen anybody do before. I haven't seen any videos on the topic. It's something I basically discovered myself in a pub, and it's a really effective way of dealing with very strong trilanes, and trilanes are the new meta. Ever since 7.07, 7.08 has dropped, there's a much bigger increase in people playing aggressive trilanes in order to make sure their safe lane carry gets some farm. And this is a really great combination that I've found that helps to defeat those trilanes. And the combination is Abaddon and IO. Abaddon and IO is not a particularly well-known combo. It's not something that I ever personally put much stock into. I played over 3,000 games of IO. It's never really come up. But what I want to talk to you about today is how IO and Abaddon in the offlane position are one of the most tanky, survivable combos in Dota. Abaddon has a spell called Mist Coil, and you saw him use it on me right there. Mist Coil, at level 1, deals 75 pure damage to Abba while healing another player for 100 HP. Through IO's tether, if IO heals for the entire 100 HP, IO heals 150 HP through tether to whoever he's tethered to. This means that for the cost of 50 mana, and with a cooldown of 4.5 seconds, IO can heal Abba for 2 times the cost of what he's hurting himself. This, at level 1, cost Abba 75 HP, and through tether, Abba is healed 150 HP. On top of that, IO is healed, obviously, the 100 HP of the base level spell. Now, I never knew this. This was, I obviously knew of Mist Coil. I knew that it was a spell that Abba had. I've quite literally played 8 Abba games in my 9,000 games of Dota, so I'm not super familiar with the hero. But I had wondered to myself, why had I never seen this before? Why had this never come up? I've played a lot of pub games, I have friends who play Abba, and I've never seen this combo. And upon doing a little bit of research, I found that Mist Coil is often a spell that is avoided until much higher levels in the game. There are support Abaddon builds that go for Shield at level 1 and Mist Coil at level 2, so that you can heal your teammates and absorb the damage you would deal to yourself through the aphotic shield. But I've never seen an IO and an Abba abusing this combo. And because Abba can heal both himself and his lane partner through tether, through IO's tether, this is one of the most cost-effective healing combinations I've seen in Dota, especially at level 1. This is something that Abba can, and you'll see him eventually start using it offensively in order to damage other players. It's something he can use to deny himself with. It's something you can do to hurt yourself and deny the enemy the kill on you if you're in Abba. But it's also something that, doing a bit more research, the damage that you deal to yourself as Abba is reduced through Overcharge. So if by some weird situation Abba can heal himself even faster if IO is overcharging during the cast. Now, it's pretty important to make clear that this does not work if IO is at 100 HP. Wait for this kill. Ping! If IO has 100 HP and Abba casts onto IO, if IO is tethered to Abba, Abba gains no health, because IO is at full health. IO has not gained the 100 HP he would normally gain, and as a result, Abba hasn't gained anything because IO hasn't gained anything. So as a result, it's important to either make sure that you have an early point in Overcharge. In this game specifically, I'm not going for that. I'm just making sure that I'm always taking damage from the enemy team. And as a result, I'm able to make sure that every Q cast onto me by Abba is effective. And this is a really, really easy way to survive the immense damage output that comes from enemy tri-lanes. The whole point of a tri-lane is to have 3 players there, preferably with 2 or more stun spells, and the idea is that the burst of damage you can put out with 3 players is going to be enough to shut down the enemy offlane. You're going to ensure that your safe lane carry gets free farm, and that free farm is going to help him carry the game in the mid and the end game. But it's a very difficult situation to be on the other end of. Many offlane players, the concept is really just to survive. You're not supposed to get gold, you're not supposed to be getting last hits, you really just want to be able to survive and get XP. And by the time you have XP, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes into the game, you can start having an impact with your ultimate, depending on the hero. If team fights start breaking out, you can make plays then. But it's something that the people in this game build around this problem by having very tanky, very aggressive offlaners that are really just meant to survive. And this is a combination whereby Abba is relatively tanky on his own, but this healing combination is just unmatched at level 1. It is something that I feel, if you are in a tri-lane situation and you're playing IO, this is the #1 combination you can use to stay alive. The problem is that Abba burns through mana very, very quickly. The Mist Coil at level 1 is only 50 mana, so it's not very much, but it has a 4.5 second cooldown, which is fantastic because it means that you can spam it all the time and make sure that your IO is healed up and therefore you're healed up. But it also means that you can blow through your mana very, very quickly, especially when you start casting Aphotic Shield on top of that. This is, of course, countered by Soul Ring. If IO has Soul Ring, IO passes mana 1.5 times the strength of Soul Ring, as you see right here, filling Abba's mana bar to 3/4 full. And all Abba needs to do is spend 50 mana to heal him and you back up to full. And through this very simple method, this is, like I said before, one of the most aggressive ways to counter a high damage tri-lane that I've seen in Dota so far. As for the rest of the game, I think I'm playing relatively normal. You see in the beginning of the game I picked up a couple extra clarities because I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't run out of mana before I got Soul Ring, so I could keep Abba healing me and I could keep him full of mana. And that's it. Nothing else needs to change. This is all very standard stuff, at least from the way that I play. Tranquil Boots to heal you both up. Soul Ring is going to keep him full of mana. Once he starts hitting a level 4, level 5, he can start spamming his shield. Shield has a very short cooldown. I think of 8 seconds at maximum, maybe 6 seconds. Let me just check. 6 seconds at maximum. So you have a 6-second shield, you have a 4.5 second offensive and defensive distance spell. There's a lot of combinations to be used here. You can see I actually had to pop my Soul Ring against the Anti-Mage to gain enough mana to tether to Abba. And it was just enough to make sure that I could survive. I hear I'm telling Abba to run so I can tether out and we don't have to run out together. But yeah, as I said before, one salve will pull us both to full health. You'll see me give him mana right here, which gives him full mana. And we're good to go. We're higher levels than the tri-lane because we're splitting XP with less people than the tri-lane is. So we have a higher... The tri-lanes are inherently risky in that if you don't win your tri-lane, you really lose your tri-lane. If you don't aggressively kick out the other players by having a lot of kills, putting a lot of damage out, really ensuring that safe lane carry is safe laning and carrying, then you fucked up, and you fucked up big time. Because what you've done is you've pulled heroes away from other places on the map where they could be applying pressure, a roaming hero, a dual offlane hero, and ultimately you're wasting time by trying to control the enemy's offlane, and if you're not doing it successfully, you're not doing it successfully. It's something you're not able to do. Here we see the first relocate gank of the game. Abba is actually able to finish it off using his Q, which is quite funny, and we're able to really wreck the pressure that they were trying to put down in bottom lane. And this is really the beginning of the collapse for the game for them. You can see that they're concerned enough about our offlane that they've tried to position people in other places, trying to leave anti-mage to get solo XP, which is not really the right thing to do, but they've decided that. And the rest is left to us. We're so confident, in fact, that we've taken their tower in under 10 minutes. You can see me stacking their camps, knowing that I'm going to have free range to clear their camps out before they are. And that's it. I believe Abba is going for an early Radiance in order to be able to carry into the end game. I'm going for very standard Soul Ring build items to make sure that I can keep Abba full of mana, as well as, you know, myself casting and full of HP, etc. And we're just trying to make the game work for us. But this is really a strong combination. Not many people are using. Nobody is talking about it because I care enough about IO that I would have heard about it if people were. And I really don't know what to say. It's such a strong combination that I'm surprised it's not in a meta. I'm surprised it's not something that higher level players are doing. You know, find a buddy and you know your buddy's good, like me and my friend here. This is something that honestly I discovered in a random pub. And the person who I was playing with was not coordinated or understanding of how IO worked to continue spamming Q properly. He wasn't casting shield on me. He didn't feel that he needed the mana from Soul Ring, which is just ridiculous. And ultimately, playing with your friends in a controlled environment where you guys are on Discord and you're coordinating. Fur's asking me for mana here in the midst of a fight. I can make sure to give it to him so that he can cast. It really works out. Really works out quite well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is a really great example of it in action here. Abba has low health. He's healing me. He's gaining net HP every time he casts, and all I have to do is activate Soul Ring, and he has all of his mana back. We're going for the shrine in this case because there's a lion with us, but and I need some mana to be honest. But like I said, folks, very strong combination. Admittedly, the team that we're playing is not very good. We end up having a very good score by the end of the game, but what it doesn't change is just how strong this can be. Once Abba hits level 5 and 6 and starts putting... One of the things that we really didn't get into this game is how Abba can abuse his shields in a really aggressive way once Soul Ring has been gained. The fact that you have a level 1 cast in Mist Coil means that when you have a shield on you and you cast Mist Coil onto somebody, the Abba doesn't take damage because the shield will absorb that damage. So there's very interesting plays to be made. Me and my friend are still practicing this build here, so we're nowhere near experts. But there's really interesting ways to play this in by if you have 1 point in Mist Coil and 3 points in shield at level 5, and an IO has Soul Ring, you can just start spamming shields onto creeps, onto IO, onto Abba, so that the wave is pushed and you can keep pushing in order to... the act of applying an aphotic shield is itself a strong dispel. So if we were playing against a Keeper of the Light who kept on mana draining me, in fact I think there's another game where we played this where that was the case, we're able to use the shields to remove the debuffs from both Abba and myself, as well as blocking damage, keeping people alive, you know, all these really fantastic different ways you can play the hero, and at this point it's only 5 minutes in the game and you're level 5. There's a lot of diversity. I think inherently I'm a sucker for things that can be done in a lot of different ways. Items that have a lot of different functions, heroes that have a lot of different functions, abilities that have a lot of different functions, and this is certainly one of those instances. From a very low level, you have a Dispel, you have several healing and mana combos between IO and his items and Abba. And you have a lot of damage between the spirits coming out of IO, the shield spam coming out of Abba. I mean, this is really one of the only combinations I've played with where I was lacking in mana to give to Abba. Like, Abba would like more mana if I could give him more mana. And that's an insane... As someone who plays Soul Ring build with a whole lot of players, whole lot of different enemies, it's incredibly rare that someone will actually say, I need more mana than what you're able to give me. And this is actually one of those rare combos where being able to play with... I mean, the fact that the cooldowns on Abba are so immensely short, as a normal player, you have to be careful to not waste your mana and to use things effectively, but when you're playing with IO, you can just go crazy. And IO, especially with Soul Ring, because Soul Ring is stronger at giving mana than Bottle is, you can really keep the Abba full. Arguably, you don't even really need a Bottle in this build because your early game healing is coming through the Abba. So what you really need is just about 9 clarities and you're good to go. But I really wanted to make this video to show people what I had found. I really don't think, like I said before, I don't want to harp on forever and ever, but I don't feel like people are playing with this build. I don't feel like people are talking about it, and I don't think people are thinking about it because Abba doesn't normally go Mist Coil at level 1. A lot of the more common Abba builds don't get Mist Coil until level 9 or 10. Once Shield is done, once the Slow of Venus is done, then you start thinking about, okay, well I have a high level shield, now I can start, when I cast it on myself, I can do a little bit of damage using Mist Coil. No one gets Mist Coil level 1. Nobody. Not even in proper support Abba builds. No one gets Mist Coil level 1. So, as soon as I found someone who was doing this and was able to understand the combination, it really just played out from there. As I said before, this game is a bit of a wash. There's another IO Abaddon game that I plan to put up, which is Twitch. Something I played live on Twitch, where you'll see my in-game reactions. Here we were still practicing, so there was a lot of yelling over Discord and, no, make sure you do this, oh, cast it on me, you fuck, oh, so a lot of drama on that end, but it's a really fantastic combo. As you can see here, every lane has been won. Ours first, and certainly the strongest. And we're so strong at this point, you'll even see us use this combination later in the game. This is not just a level 1... Here, I'm sure you'll see him turn and cast on me. This is not just a level 1 combo. This is not just how to win a tri-lane. This is a really strong synergy between two heroes that I don't see talked about too much. And we're not even going to get into the concept of if Abba has himself shielded and you're tethered to somebody else, he can heal you and that tethered person without damaging himself. That's just too basic. We're beyond that. We're next level beyond that things. Like we're deep into trying to understand the best ways to use these heroes. And even here you see, I'm overcharging Abba so he can hit the tower faster, and he's turning to me every 4.5 seconds to Q me, because one, he takes less damage when I'm overcharging, not that that really matters when you're gaining net HP every time, but second, because I'm overcharging, I'm always going to have less than 100% health, which means I'm always going to be able to heal him through the move. If I have 100% HP, it doesn't work. So being able to make sure that I'm taking damage just makes the move work. Which is a really nice place for IO to be anyway, especially in the early laning stages. I've talked about before the concept that you are very happy as an IO to take damage, because if you heal your own life, you can heal the life of somebody else. Here Abba is begging me to take him back, and I do it at the very last second. The idea that... Yeah, I think I did a long time ago. But yeah. Very, very strong combo. Level 4 Mist Coil, I haven't really talked about this, but end game Mist Coil, I believe, heals for 250 HP or 300 HP, which obviously through Tether is closer to 400, 500. And there's also an ability you can get in the Abaddon talent tree, which increases the damage and healing by an additional 50. I don't think this is necessary whatsoever. I don't play ABBA, so I don't know if that's a normal purchase, but it's certainly not something you need to get in this build. The fact that the damage is increased so heavily already through the IO tether is you don't need to increase that any further by getting, especially an extra 50 is not really enough to write home about. But you can see here, I mean, now that I have Yule Scepter, I'm giving him mana constantly, and between the shields and the casting, kid just won't die. Just won't die. His ultimate and everything, so, well, until he charges Fountain and kills himself, it's a pretty good way to ensure you will die, but you guys see what I mean. Very, very strong combo, very underutilized. Something I think needs to be played with more, and something I don't think anyone's talking about. So I wanted to get that combo out there into the mainstream. I want people to take this home and practice it, because it works. It really, really works. A little bit of coordination, throw in a pinch of Discord, make sure you got some good friends with you, and you will wreck. You will wreck the offlane, and you will do it against hardcore tri-lanes that are designed to kick your ass. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. Keep an eye out for another IO ABBA offlane video where you'll see me how to communicate in this build. You'll see that happening live. So thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you guys soon. In the comments, check me out on Twitch. I have a Patreon. Look me up on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for checking me out. Hope to see you guys soon. All right, bye.